There it is.
There it is. Yeah. All right, let me.
Everybody loves it. Everybody needs it. It's time for mic check time. Everybody needs it. It's time for mic check time. now we're just gonna get the
Echoes is gonna cycle through.
Yeah. All right, let's mic check me. Mic checking me.
Yeah.
How close do I need it? Last podcast we did was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my mic farther away from me, but the gain cranked up higher. So I'm farther away now. So what do you think of this volume? More gain on Brian? More or less? Wait for the chat to hear it, because headphones may not be the best thing. I'm gonna go a little bit more. Gonna do one click up on me. One click up on me.
Yeah, that's cool. Sounds good to me. Our responses.
That sound good? If I'm like right here, I'm like 2 hands away from the mic, but the mic's turned up a little bit higher.
Let me try this. Yeah, more loud is always good. We can go softer by ourselves.
Okay, people are saying good sound. Good sound on us.
Pretty good.
Okay, now how about Nick?
Yes. How about me? Because I think this is about where I'm going to park myself from here, for the want of a better distance. So just let me know how I sound, and if for whatever reason I don't sound right, we'll fix that post haste.
Compare me to Nick. Compare me to Nick. Me.
Me.
No
me.
No Mars.
Me. Seriously though, me. I think I have a tendency to sort of talk a little quieter, but then once the tea gets in me,
yep, saying Nick's quiet. Okay.
it begins.
So I'll put Nick up another notch. Nick up another notch.
Yes. So yeah. Now give it a second to go through and see if it's working this time.
Compare it to me. Compare it to me.
Yes, let's have some comparisons going on here.
Me. Compare it to me.
Yes.
It sounds good in my headphones.
Yes. Should be good.
All right then.
All right. So pause for room tone.
Okay. Pausing for room tone now. How about I start recording first for the iTunes?
Hey guys, welcome to RCR podcast number 27, Knives and the Fart Check. And yes, if you're watching live on YouTube and you don't want to deal with all the weird sound checks that we do at the beginning, you are always welcome to download off of iTunes, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, Google Play, I want to say. And you skip through all that mess and get right to the show. But I'm Nick.
I'm Brian.
And we are here to talk about our weekend. And yeah, some more eventful than others, but how was yours?
So we'll get right into it. I have a letter here. sent to me from Josh Wersaw. Check out this penmanship.
That is extraordinary. That's Civil War penmanship.
That was written with Pilot Varsity, one of the two pens he sent us. I already have a pack, but I talked about how much I like disposable ballpoint pens now. I mean, they're not ballpoint pens, disposable fountain pens now. So he sent me 2 more of those. Gave one to Nick. And he also sent me 2 knives because I've been talking a lot about hiking and stuff like that. Or those of you who watched the previous podcast of what I did just with my phone, which I also tried out the whole super chat thing, which I'm not opposed to. I don't know if I enabled it here or not, or it appeared on my phone, but it didn't appear here. Anyway, he sent me 2 hiking knives, a legit one, and also a field notebook, because I think I mentioned I didn't have a... oh, there he is.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
There's
yeah,
Josh.
hey,
Hi, Josh. Thank
howdy.
you for this. Yeah, I mentioned that I didn't have, a hiking knife, like a buck knife. And Josh writes for an outdoor blog, and he got a bunch of free stuff. So he sent me one of those knives, and the name of the company is... Where's his letter? The name of the company of like a lightweight hiking knife, which you really just need to open bags of food. First of all, is a lightweight Benchmade Bug Out. A nifty lightweight knife. I reviewed this for GearJunkie.com and found it to be a very good hiking tool. The manufacturer sent it to me as a review sample, and now it's yours. To give you something to compare the Bug Out to, I've also included a truly terrible knife. This Mall Ninja Special is one of the worst pieces of gear I've ever handled, sent to me by a friend as a joke. I had no idea what to do with it, so maybe you can find some joy in its awfulness. Yeah, this is... The lightweight is just a simple folding knife, which I guess is a plastic handle. Very thick plastic. I mean, I wish AVE were here to tell me what type of plastic this is. But all it is a folding knife that doesn't weigh a whole lot.
Oh,
yeah. A folding knife that doesn't weigh a lot. Compared to one of these monstrosities, which, I guess it's got holes in it. It's got holes in the blades, so to make it lighter. But all it is like this cheap metal, and it's got that trigger thing that doesn't work. I guess this is what you call those spring-assisted knives, because you're not allowed to have like spring-ejected knives. I'm not a knife guy. I don't know what all this stuff means. But you press this, and then this blade that has a bend in it for no reason, and then it has the punchy thing that you're supposed to punch through your window when your car is sinking in water, and then the cutter thing so you can infiltrate a place that has barbed wire.
This is a heist knife.
Yeah.
More 5-finger fillet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
So thank you much for both of them. I think I'll keep the Mall Ninja knife in like a toolbox or something you don't mind if it's heavy. And I keep going on and on about our mic check, and here I am getting away from the
stainless steel USA design, handmade in China.
Yep.
But here you go.
Thanks.
It's sure is a weapon. I don't know. It's strange. I'm to that point where I don't even really necessarily think of knives as weapons until you're holding like an actual heavy duty one.
Yeah.
In your hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like when we went to Philly Comic-Con, and my nephew and I did a photo shoot where they hand you it's Star Wars, so there's C-3PO and R2-D2 and BB-8 and all them like standing there, and Han Solo frozen in carbonite in the background. Mm-hmm. And they hand you weapons so you can pose with the weapons, but they're heavy metallic authentic recreation props. And it's kind of a strange sensation of feeling that weight, even though it's not a real weapon. But, you know, I've never been to the shooting range, and I know you have. And I've never really, like, I've held a real gun before, never fired one. But it's one of those things, and it's nothing, I'm not opposed to firing a real gun. It's just, I've never really had the opportunity in my life or the sort of occasion to have done so, even though I grew up in Reading. So it's one of those things. But it's just strange that, oh, wow, okay, this is a thing.
Yeah.
That can happen. What's your opinion upon right to repair?
I think it's a good thing. You own a piece that is your property. You should own it. I understand a little bit in that there's a lot of people making bad repairs out there, and I'm one of them. Because my Forester, Goldie, which is the camera car, has been throwing code P114, which is, yeah, you were there.
It was the oh gosh, it was a weird word, but it was basically an air thing.
Yeah, it's something with emissions. It's just saying, hey, purge fault, blah blah blah. And it's either one of four things: the charcoal canister in the back by the fuel tank, the vent valve back by the fuel tank, or vent solenoid, or the purge control valve, which is in the front, or the purge control solenoid, I should say, which is in the front under the intake manifold, which is impossible to get to without taking the intake manifold off. Or fourth, any of the vacuum lines that run around it. The whole point of these things is to take the fumes that build up in the gas tank and pump them up into the engine or absorb them into a charcoal canister. If you don't have a charcoal canister on a modern car and all those evaporative emissions things, the inside of your car starts to smell like gas a little bit, which is what the Falcon does and all classic cars do. If they don't have those emissions things, so that's why old classic cars smell the way they do. You're smelling the fumes from the gas tank because there's no system in it. So Kyle B says, I had that issue with my O2 Legacy. The purge valve needed to be cleaned up. They corrode. So the purge valve, does that mean the one that's back by the fuel tank? Because I wasn't able to, I was able to get that purge valve loose, but the bracket it was attached to was rusted shut. I couldn't get it off. I'd have to get a wheel down there and cut it off. So I'm like, have you changed? Zephyr says, have you changed the Vagabond Falcon's gearing to 355 yet? Went even further. It's now 3. It's now 3.27. Nice cruising. So you get on the highway, that engine just shuts up.
And are you planning on doing more now that the weather's starting to turn?
With the Falcon?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a laundry list of stuff up there. Needs a bus hub, needs a Willwood brake proportioning valve, needs a new muffler. So, and the usual this and that I break in that car, which I think is going to be every year. It's going to be a bill from Bruce because I drive that thing all the gosh darn time. It's not like it is a winged dinga car, but it's not, hey, we're taking it out to the car show. I'm going to set up on my lawn chair in front of it and read the paper and don't talk to anybody. No, I drive that thing like a regular car, as it should be.
What did you think of the car choices on the This Is America video?
Great. Classic Hondas.
Yeah, those
really
were some pretty
shape.
choice.
Yeah.
Pretty choice.
Heavy content for a video, lightweight cars.
Yeah.
So
Fart Shack.
Oh, the Fart Shack. The Fart Shack story. The fart. Okay, so I went. Wonder if did I enable super chat or not? I can super chat myself, can I? Send a super chat. What happens if I do it? Do I give myself money?
Probably. assuming that you have an account set up or like a payment method linked to your YouTube. Because my PayPal is linked to my YouTube.
Yeah.
And my PayPal is linked to my bank account. And so
I guess it works like that.
Yeah. So you can tip people whatever.
I wish there was like a thing. It was on my phone that said you could turn it on, turn it off, but I don't know if it's working here or not. One guy says YouTube takes 30%.
Yeah,
Nick and I were talking about that, but you know, hey, it keeps the camera car fueled, so
yeah, there you go.
And Farrah was talking about how it is an alternative to getting sponsors, like if you want to stay sponsor free. Which we have a video coming up, not this coming Monday, but the Monday after, where the car itself was sponsored. I mean, there was no money exchange, but we had to play nice with a dealer. It's a pretty high-end car.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to drive, but we know we're going to have to pull our punches on it just a little bit, or be able to work within restrictions. And I have no problem working within restrictions, although there's certain jokes that I may have to tailor a certain way about this thing. Yeah. Anyway. So, hello and Hammer. Okay.
Showing what comments to show and hide. I'm sure this is like riveting to the people listening on iTunes,
right? But well, we're watching some of the comments go by, and I have to approve channels. Oh, there it worked.
Hey,
thank you.
$5.
Thank you, Italian Ice. I love Italian Ice. I love the sugar high. Italian Ice 677 says, "Oh shit." One guy bumped up. Italian Ice 468 says, "Hey guys, glad to see you have Super Chat." Oh, thank you very much for proving that it works.
Yeah, thank you for yes.
Oh, hey, it's Tunnel Chaser. I owed you some cash for drinks anyway. Oh,
that's the guy who's coming up on Monday.
Yeah. Slight hint, everybody. If you look at his icon name, what kind of car is coming up on Monday? Yeah. He was great. And I don't think we talk. I have the video almost edited, so I can talk about it. And because thanks for the $5, I can talk a little bit about what happened with that video and that particular car. After the video was completed, Vince and I, in his particular car, drove to my local market on an errand. We come out of this market, and we parked that particular car in the market's parking lot. And we're walking back through the parking lot to get in the car to drive back to the racquetball club so I could pick up the camera car. And while we were out in the parking lot with that particular car, there was a high school kid who had who arrived while we were still inside the market. And he's sitting in his Subaru Outback with his phone out the window, taking pictures or video of this car as we walk up. He says to Vince, is that your car? He already knew what it was. Is that your car? And Vince said, yes. He said, very nice. And then the kid rattled off some facts about the car, and like he knew all the lingo about it, and the sort of I think he quoted some stuff that Doug DeMuro had it when he had that particular car. And then the high school kid asked, in a way a teenager only can, may I have a ride? And I looked at Vince. I said, well, I have no problem with it if you have no problem with it. And Vince said, okay. So I said, well, we have to go back to the racquetball club. We could give you a ride there, and while we're there, Vince has to leave, and you can get into my Forester, and I'll drive you back. And the kid said, okay. So he parked his Outback, got into this particular car, and we took the highway back to the racquetball club, and this particular car showed 3 digits on the speedometer in less than 10 seconds. Now, we took a detour to a closed road in Mexico to do this.
Yes. Yes.
I was riding in the back seat. This kid was in the front seat. And, oh, wow. Thanks, Mike.
Mike G.
Mike G.
The original G. Cash for Dad. Obligatory come to Toronto.
We will come to Toronto.
Yeah.
We will come to Toronto. It's a question of logistics. We are going to come to Toronto. We have to find a place to film in Toronto. But first, Mike, let me finish the story. So I think Vince was running his GoPro. So there'll be a video that we can link to about this particular car at the end of mine to link to Vince's YouTube channel, which is called Tunnel Chaser. And appropriate for Pennsylvania. We got some tunnels here. And you'll be able to see me in the back seat of this particular car and the kid having a good reaction to what this particular car can do. So on to Cash for Dad. Obligatory come to Toronto. Yes, Toronto. My game plan as of now for Toronto. Don't have a date for it yet. Chicago comes first. Which, Nick, we really have to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Find a date this summer to come to Toronto. To come to Chicago.
Chi-town.
Yeah. I want to drive the Falcon to Toronto, which means the Falcon has to be in tip-top shape for that 8-hour drive, which means we need to do more breakdown stuff with the Falcon. That's the plan. While we're there, I'm sure we can film or find someone with a station wagon to be our filming person.
Yeah.
The reason I want to drive the Falcon to Toronto as opposed to other trips is, again, because I'm very timid going through customs. In a way, I'm not on an airplane. I suppose at an airplane, it's really customs and TSA. An airplane unloads and suddenly there's hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Or in the case of that Boeing 777 on the way to New Zealand, there's like 300 people on that plane, and they only have time for like 1 or 2 questions. They're not really interested in you.
Yeah.
They're profiling. Works for us. That's a bad joke, isn't it?
But still, when you're in the car and, just kind of, that one verbal tick could be, all right, well, let me look in your trunk or something. Yeah. And it's because I've been to Canada once.
Right.
I was a kid and we drove up there and it was this weird thing that was just
Alex Schmidt.
Yeah. What was something
about I think can we would you it highlights everything for me. Michael G. Okay, there's Michael G, Alex Schmidt. Oh, it goes the other way. Okay.
All right, so
Canada. Alex Schmidt said, "What was something about the states that you missed while in New Zealand?" Obligatory brown. Cheap gas. That was one thing. Filling up that BMW 5 Series. That was like $70 to film that thing up. It was 70 New Zealand. She may have came out to like $60.
I missed air conditioning.
Yeah. I missed air conditioning. I missed houses that had dryers in them.
Oh, the Airbnb didn't have a dryer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Airbnb didn't have a dryer. Yeah, air conditioning, dryers. Geez, beer was great. Food was great. People were great.
Yeah.
Houses, a little bit chintzy. Windows didn't really seal. There was, and Andrew and Kaz can attest to this, that there was just Kiwi houses built between certain dates are kind of crap.
Yeah.
So thank you, Alex. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
Michael G. Oh, like a pound. $5. Spending the pounds. What's our exchange rate? So that's more than 5.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
would you ever review a Mercedes W12 E-Class before it was E-Class? Yeah. Definitely. We don't do enough Mercedes. They're kind of hard to come by in Pennsylvania because the people who have them turn them into There's got to be a German version for Wingadinga. Well, it's Oompa Loompa, or how do you pronounce polka music? It's the people who have them, and Mercedes fall into two categories, like classic Mercedes in Pennsylvania. They fall into people who drive them into the ground, and then people who or maybe three people who drive them in the ground. But that also is kind of sort of like the hipster thing. They have the car that is the old Mercedes that isn't really running right, but they're driving it all the time. And then the people who are, it's pristine, and you don't really see them too often. So yeah, a W124. I mean, I'd have to learn a lot from the owner. Again, shout out to Chicago. I have to talk to Mike Steinberg, who knows his Mercedes really well. So thank you for your question, Michael. Thank you for the $5. Now this guy.
RCR
$50.
Well, thank you so much.
We got to get booze for next time. Yeah, when this stuff pays out.
We need to do a prime time episode of the podcast that's just us like getting shit faced while we answer questions.
We have to take responsibility, because the last time I did it with Tom, for Tom Mix, have the RCR beer contest, I got fucked up. And
that was like a 2 and a half hour show.
I drank like 8 beers, like the equivalent of like, oh shit. And again, late 30s. RCR Phoenix, Arizona next winter. You know, Aaron, I was just oh, and yen. That's pretty funny. I wonder if I can expand this so it keeps track of all the people that. No, it only holds 3 at a time. It should hold more super chats at a time.
Right.
Phoenix, Arizona next winter. Last night I was lonely and I was on Google Maps looking for places to go because this winter sucked ass.
Yeah, it did. It was terrible.
It lasted forever, and I'm thinking next year, like Austin was such a nice break. Something like that. I looked at Phoenix, Arizona. The Bondurant School of Racing is out there. Scottsdale's nearby.
Yeah.
It'd be neat to, in March, like, hey, I thought it was springtime.
Yeah,
and it's winter.
Our thing was, we went to New Zealand almost too early. Like, if we had gone in March, we would have, like, skipped everything.
Yeah.
And that's the thing of... I just hate that it becomes this recurring thing with Pennsylvania winters where it's March when you really get slammed. And yesterday, coming back from Philly, it was, in the low 50s. And I'm like, what is this?
It's 80 degrees out there right
now. Yeah, right now. It's just the most schizophrenic thing. And I guess, with Mother Nature, it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. But I'm not trying to, I dress the same way year round as a matter of principle. And so if you look in any videos anywhere we've ever gone in any climate, I'm always wearing like a button shirt with the sleeves rolled up and jeans and a hat because I don't believe in shorts. I don't believe in just wearing a t-shirt and being like, it always has to be something that I can roll the sleeves up with. But with winter, it's that thing where, I'll always have to put on a cartoonishly heavy coat and have to wear it for far longer than any person reasonably should. I was wearing that heavy coat deep into, the tax deadline. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But moving on. Or did we fully answer?
Did we fully answer give you enough response for a $50 question? I want to know what, I think that would be nice. Like in March, fly out to Arizona, find out a way to get on a racetrack, because I know I'm hooked now after experiencing Harris Hill. Phoenix, Arizona, I'm like, there's no real waterfront. You are in the desert, but that could mean desert motorcycle riding.
I would love to go to Vegas at some point, just RCR in Vegas.
Now and again, remind me, we want to get to some of these other questions, people who gave us a super chat. But every now and again, Hilton Grand Vacations, they're like, after I book a hotel, it's like, we'll give you 1,000 points if you listen to this pitch. And I'm like, Vegas for like $40 a night. I mean, if it's a Hilton thing, it'll probably be. I mean, I'm not gambling. I'm not doing.
No,
anything.
I'm not gambling. I'm going to literally people watch. And go to see like a tribute show to the Andrews sisters. It'll be like when Bart gets the driver's license and they all go to wherever they go, and they go to watch Andy Williams sing Moon River, and Nelson is like, I didn't think he'd do it, and then bam, second encore. Like, it would be that type of thing of like, yes, you go to the casino and they're handing out drinks like they're running out of money, and they just want you to get into the mind frame of like, okay, this could be my chance. But the whole idea is, whenever you go to Vegas, it's the people who are leaving as the plane is departing and the others are arriving, and you're just thinking, those poor,
Connor Hodgkin says March is the best time for southwestern Arizona. Tucson and Phoenix have the best weather at that time. Cool.
Very nice.
So thank you again, Aaron. So let's move on to
1,200 yen from Carl Baer.
I'm just doing this because the currency makes the number look big. Also, come to Japan. Suzuki Hustler is my dream car. Tony Airlines, Tony, the pilot who I went hiking with, who we got to get to the fart check story. At some point, I'll tell people, stop donating, stop doing super chat, so I can tell this story. Tim Strickler is in Japan right now.
Yeah, I know. It's so great.
My thing about Japan, I'm open to the idea, but I'm going to be lost as hell. And then there's the thing that, look, we're white guys, and the stereotype is that the young people don't care, but the older people remember the war. So, like, Americans, there's kind of a thing.
One of my oldest friends, Courtney, just moved to Tokyo for a job. And so I was thinking of her as like a fixer possibility. But the problem with that is that she has like a normal job that she just started and can't just, and that's the thing of like, when we're finding fixers, like, the automation guys, it's, they're making their own schedule. They can do whatever they want, whenever they want. And so they could like show us around, they could help us film. And that's always been the issue of trying to, especially when you're going internationally. I mean, Tom Clark, it wasn't like he wasn't like busy per se, but that he had the option of being able to move things around, and not everybody can say that. So that's one of the logistical things. When we talk about logistics, that's what we mean. Of we have to find fixers, because otherwise this doesn't work if it's just the two of us.
Please don't kill me. Burgundy Burnouts, hey, I remember you from 2 days ago. Man,
have you
I need to play like Jay-Z for you, the amount of big pimping you're doing. Thank you for $20. Have you seen the new Nissan video about the GTR coming to China? I love the editing and cinematography. It is exactly the style of video I always wanted to make. I didn't see this video. The GTR coming to China, is it the same like USDM that we're getting? Are they going to give China the Nissan equivalent of the Jeep Wrangler Dragon Edition? Are they going to tinsel it out? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we could watch it here with copyright. What sort of video people in the chat can tell me? Is it like a racing one? I mean, I love well-produced commercials. There's nothing more. I hate Sonic Burgers thing. Like, okay, they're in 60p, great, but they're just talking about it. I can respect low-budget stuff, but I love high-budget stuff when there's definitely a DP on there who knows what he's doing. Why did this one come up before? Oh, that's the Phoenix, Arizona. Oh, that's the Phoenix, Arizona. Okay.
And this one.
I can move forward.
There was someone who's asking what it's like to, where we're going next.
Chicago.
And Chicago, but there was someone further below who asked if you were going to take the Falcon to the Pipes Performance show again.
Shit, when is that? Internet.
Didn't mention, but I know we're going to be at Ford Nationals.
We will be at Ford Nationals. Come find the Falcon. We'll be parked probably with the other Falcons.
It'll be, maybe not meat size, but if you see us, come say hi. And, I mean, I'll like I always love the signing things part of it. Like
yeah.
I'm happy to sign things, but or just take a picture. It doesn't matter because it's stopped being weird to me. So yeah.
The JK Knight, the Just Kidding Knight. Thank you for the $5. When are you coming back to Boulder, Colorado? I have a 2004 SM95, just like Roman's, but it's Sonic Blue and a GT, meaning it has probably the 2-valve modular. I don't have any plans to come back to Colorado. Again, we can only see forward like 2 trips.
Yeah.
I don't know, we keep saying Toronto, man.
And also, like, our Colorado fixer doesn't live there anymore.
Right, Tom moved.
Yeah.
So
which, we could find another Colorado fixer, but it's something where, like with the automation guys, you develop that relationship over the course of a year before you even start planning the trip. You have to vet people and know where they're coming from and what kind of person they are and read it through that. And you can do this, and I really can't because I suck at it. But like, you can just listen to what they're saying and certain key phrases pick up and like, oh, that phrase is a giveaway. Like I have access to is a giveaway. Yeah.
But I don't want to give away the secrets, but I've been a substitute teacher for 6 years. I know when someone's lying to me. Yeah. A super chat that went by in the background, I saw it go up. It was a joke one, but hey, thank you for the $5. It said, starting a Don't Come to Ohio fund. I do have our fixer. Well, let me move on. Thank you. Just kidding. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about coming to Boulder, although I loved it.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
The homeless were a little bit sure of themselves, but Boulder, great town. Yeah. So that was Burgundy Burnouts. This is Michael G. Michael G says, I have a W124. Oh, we were just talking about it. Wait, is he the same guy?
Might be, because he's doing it in pounds.
Wait, someone dropped off here in the beginning. Someone who gave money and then it went away.
That's weird.
I can't have that. I got to talk to everybody. I have a W124, a 928 S4 in forest green metallic, and a Land Cruiser 80 series in forest green metallic. What do you think of this array? P.S. I don't think you gave the 928 enough credit. I was pretty hard on the 928, wasn't I?
Which makes me want...
what do I think? Forest green metallic and a Land Cruiser 80 series in forest green metallic. So they're all green. What do you think of this array? Well, I mean, green is good. Right.
Just from a hypothetical interview standpoint, because you mentioned how you were a bit hard on the 928. What is a car that if you could go back and not be so hard on it, like in the review? Because there were some cars that I really... like in my half of the
Porsche
script.
944. I was really hard on that. Now, I talked about it before that I was so underwhelmed by that car. And I thought the interior was nice, but I didn't think it was a cut above any other 80s car I've driven. Again, maybe it was the hype. But I can understand how well built it was. I hated the transmission. It felt like a Fiero's transmission. Wide gears. It ran great, but it couldn't live up to its own hype. If I had reviewed it earlier on in RCR when I had driven less cars, I probably would have liked it. Yeah. But I was really mean on the 944. Steph Schrader never lets me hear the end of it. I'll get into another one. Well, she has a 944. Steph has a 944, and it's a Lemons Racer. So... like them all race cars, she's constantly repairing it. But I need to get it when we come back to Austin. I'll drive the Porsche lump. Thank you, Michael G. So another one came back. He says, Tom says, race with me on my 24 Hours of Lemons team. Races all over the country in the team cars. A 1974 Pinto wagon. Yeah. Awesome. I have no racing experience, and I don't have any gear. So you got some loaner helmets and suits. I'm game for it. Look, man. I don't know how to race a car, but if you give me seat time after my stint at Harris Hill, I'm game for it. Look, dude, Tom, I know nothing about racing. I'm willing to learn, but I think I need more time with Monica and Nugget, my two helpers / fiskers. fixers for Harris Hill. I need more time with an instructor, so I'm not a danger on a racetrack.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was some other super chat that came and went.
I think like if you get out of the top chat and just go back into the regular chat, like you go down and click on it, and then you can scroll up until you see the one you missed.
Right. I'm glad we have slow mode on. Race with me. Okay, there's that guy.
Don't come
starting
to Ohio.
Don't come to Ohio fun. W4, we answered that one. When are you coming back to Boulder? Asked for that one.
That one.
Credit to Enham. Yeah, this one went away. This one. Well, Alex Schmidt. Why did this one get bumped off?
Don't know, but
I think I see. There's like a health meter.
Yeah,
and the more expensive ones stay up forever. That's devious. I kind of don't like devious. That. I want to answer everybody.
Yeah.
So I see. Okay, if I see a small one, we'll go to that one first, so we have more time with the other ones. Alex Schmidt said, "Credit to N Hammer, but you guys should do a regular beer review podcast sometimes." Yeah, next time, Tom. I have a beer I'm saving for Tom.
Yeah.
But Tom, this is one that I let drop. I drive a Chrysler 300 because I am tall and it's large.
Oh, hey, everyone must drive an automobile, even the very tall. Sorry, that's just like my way more than steamed hams. That's my favorite bit in that 22 short films about Springfield episode. The really tall guy in the car it's that boy who laughs at everyone. Let's laugh at him.
All right, the yen.
Wait, no, there was a guy up there. No, up more.
Up more.
Yeah. Wait, no, never mind.
That's the yen guy.
Yeah,
I think we're all
guy.
caught up. Real name. The guy says, "I'm helping. Love you, guy. Here's a beer on me. Thank you, Shannon."
And back to Phoenix.
Phoenix. Okay, so we learned that we got to go to the small ones first. Getting a new Fiesta ST, thanks in part to your review way back when, my first manual. Good, you got the manual. You didn't get the automatic, the double clutch thing that breaks. Very good. You'll love it. Getting a great car, but spending money, so thanks, I guess. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I have no bad things to say about Fiesta STs at all. They're fan-freaking-tastic, just as long as you get a manual. And that means the same with the Focus STs as well. The Sabertooth Mouse says, my dad has a 1965 Buick Riviera with a 401 nailhead. Shit. That he wants to give you guys a review, but he's too afraid of what you will say to send you an email. Well, then I guess we're not doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's really protective of the image of the car, and if there's a lot of him in the car, maybe giving it to us is not the best plan.
Yeah, because we can't really shackle ourselves. Early on, really, really early on in the RCR, there was this dealership where, he was going to basically give us free reign, but he wanted final cut. And it's like, that's not going to work.
Right.
It's going to be a no from me, dog.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I wasn't
also
in
the
control
fans would hate that.
Yeah. And they would immediately be able to tell, like, we were wearing kids' gloves. Or kid gloves for that.
Right. Which is coming up. But we'll find a way to work within it.
Yeah, because it's not kid gloves. It's more of a sort of like there are weird parts to it, but it's not necessarily. And plus, it's from a sort of build. Well, it's a new build, but it's a car that we've sort of had experience with before. So it's not as though anything that crazy that we would have said, we would have already said in the 6 or 7 other sort of experiences we had with it.
Okay, Dan Learder, thank you for the $5, Dan. And at this point, stop giving me super chats. Stop giving us money now,
so
please.
We can do the
so I can tell this story about the. Oh, God damn it! Stop sending me money, please. Stop doing it. I'll answer these questions, but I want to tell the fart shack story. So please don't. We'll never hear.
We're on delay, so they're just gonna get it.
Yeah, that's true. Stop sending me money. I need to tell you, or you'll never hear the fart shack story.
Or you can send money, but just not attached.
Don't hold off on it, please. Good. All right. Dan Leader says thoughts of coming to Wisconsin. Sorry. During your Chicago trip, it's beautiful in the summer. Just avoid the winter. We're gonna stick into the northern Chicago area. Depending on how many times, maybe Mike Steinberg will give us a ride up to Wisconsin. He likes it.
Because we're not going to be doing the driving, is the thing.
Right. We're going to fly in. So I'm open to Wisconsin. We'll talk to Mike Steinberg and see what he says. I know that's a PA thing. I could well, saying the first and last name all the time.
There's a message me or something so we can keep in touch about. Oh, sorry.
Tom W says, you have to message me or something so we can keep in touch about the Lemons race. Send me an email to regularcars@gmail.com. That's the way I remember stuff. Say, hey, it's Tom from the chat. You know, where you're located, the Lemons car, phone number, picture, you know the drill. You have to message me or something so we can keep in touch about Lemons race. It really is for newbies. Yeah, there's newbies and then there's assholes. I have all the gear. How do we keep in touch and make it happen one day? Send me an email. Thank you, Tom, for the $20, man. All right, everybody, please stop sending me money.
Well, some guy sent $2 to hear the answer to the Fart Shack story. As a way
Where
of,
is he? Where is he?
Oh, up.
Up?
Yeah, it's up a ways because it was only $2, so it got
What is a fart shack?
So
Very
this is
good.
where we get to answer,
Right?
Yeah.
So the Phoenix, Arizona story. We answered Tom questions about the Lemons race. Thank you, Tom. Thank you to everybody. Okay. Joseph Stassop says, "What is going on? I just got here. What's going on is I'm trying to tell this story, but people keep doing the super chat thing. So I was hiking." I was hiking with Tony Airlines. That's his Instagram channel. And we were hiking from the 183 crossing along, there's an Appalachian Trail story. Hiking along the Appalachian Trail from the 183 crossing to Port Clinton, a distance of about 19 miles. I did it once before in one stint, but I also wanted to turn it into an overnight trip. So along the way, on the AT, or it's about every 20 to 30 miles or so on the AT, there will be a shelter. These shelters are like small log cabins with one wall missing. Picture, I think we talked about this.
Yeah, I think we did.
Like a large log bus stop in which you can shelter from the rain. Most people don't stay in these. They prefer the privacy of their own tents, but will stay near. But they'll set their tent up near the shelter anyway, because usually there's going to be a spring at the shelter, and normally there's burgundy burnouts. All right, thank you for the $5. As much as I love having drinking money. This is turning into Jay's 2 Cents Tech Talk podcast just for an hour of reading super chats. P.S. A Firebird without a fastback is the weirdest thing looking ever. A Firebird without a fastback. What is Jay's 2 Cents Tech Talk podcast? Just an hour of reading super chats. I've never heard of that before. What is that?
Yeah.
Adam Seifert says, I'm in Pittsburgh, and if you want to review a Hemi all-wheel dying Durango Citadel with a CDA and muffler delete, send me an email, Adam. I ought to repost the... If you search on YouTube for how to submit a car to regular car reviews, I made a whole video that explains how to do that so it gets my attention.
Yeah, and it's the very top post in the subreddit, too.
Yeah. Yeah, going back to... Mike G says, fart story. So, okay, going back to the fart story. Josh Rip says, it's another tech podcast for computer parts and stuff. Hey, Mr. Regular, I'll get to this fart story. Hey, Mr. Regular, I'm going to buy a mid-sized SUV from the late 90s to early 2000s with good 4x4 capacity for rough roadways here in Beaver Dam. What do I get? Good, cheap recommendations. A mid-sized SUV, early 2000s. Well-maintained Ford Escape. It's a small SUV. Or a third-gen Subaru Forester. Buy it off of some granola mom. It's going to have old oil in it, but the inside should be fine.
All right, I think we need to minimize the chat altogether before, just to get the fart story out.
Right.
Yeah.
Fart shack.
Fart shack, baby, fart shack.
So, Tony Airlines and I are just la-di-dying along the AT. We get to the shelter. We don't have a tent, so we have to stay in the shelter. When we get to the shelter, there are 5 or 6 other people already there, and they don't have tents. So they're going to be staying in the shelter too. It's like an old folks club. Burgundy Burnouts with the super chat says, "You'll never finish the story. I'm finishing the story now." Thank you, Burgundy Burnouts, for $2. And all the other hikers are in their 60s. And I think they either got to this is called Eagle's Nest Shelter. So if you have your YouTube there, so if you got your internet there, you can go look up Eagle's Nest Shelter. So you know what I'm talking about. So we realize that we're heading for a night with everybody's grandparents, and we're all going to be sleeping in sleeping bags in this log cabin missing one wall. And the amount of privacy we're going to have to ourselves is the square footage of our sleeping bags. This is turning into a sleepover, or like someone going to a convention and you have like 7 people in one hotel room.
Yeah.
You do that move. Or any sort of high school, like you go to a Hojo, a Howard Johnson's, and everybody crams in and you're sleeping on the floor. Well, this was that, only it's a Lifetime original movie. So, and then when we get there, 2 more people show up. Thankfully, well, one didn't have a tent. So one person had to sleep not in the shelter, but there was like a step that led down to the dirt that was wood. So somebody slept there. So one, you know, you're dealing with some people who are up there in age. Like I'm 37. No, I'm 36. I'll be 37 in 2 months. When the people there are saying, "Oh, you young kids, I'm old enough to be the president now." It's like 35, right? Is the minimum? Yeah, to be the U.S. president. So they go to bed early, as is tradition, and Jay and I, he starts mixing this one drink called, he had a bunch of little, Tony had a metal water bottle filled with Riesling that he drank mostly on the way there.
Wow.
And then when he got there, there's a drink, and if Tony's in the chat, maybe he can tell me. Is that Tony? Oh, it is. Tony Richardson. There he is. Tony Airlines. We got to sleep with all the baby boomers. That's Tony, right? Your last name is Richardson. Just make sure it's not another Tony Richardson. Yeah, Tony Richardson there in the chat. That was the guy I went hiking with. So yeah, Tony, what was the drink you were making? You mix two of these liquors together, and what you get is Captain Crunch, or do you get a Lucky Charms?
Some kind of breakfast cereal drink.
Or is it Cinnamon Toast Crunch? I think it was Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So we were mixing these in an empty water bottle. You pour the 2 like airline style sippy liquor bottles together, and you pour it together, shake it up, and you get this breakfast cereal. You get like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and it kind of tastes like that. So we're drinking that, and I had a flask, a plastic flask filled with Pinnacle vodka, unflavored, of course. So I'm drinking that. So we're getting, kind of toasty, and we were up to 9:30 at night. The sun goes down. There's nothing to do. So we're out in the woods pointing up at planes coming in, and Tony, because he's an airline pilot, knows can like really predict where they're going based on where we are in PA. Like, okay, well, that plane is at pretty much at that altitude, which means he's going to Baltimore, and this guy's at a lower altitude. He's probably going to, well, he's not going to Harrisburg because all the flights end at Harrisburg at like 9, so he can't be going there. And this other flight. Meanwhile, back in the shelter, all the old folks are getting deep into their all farting, all snoring, all coughing, all getting up to pee musical. So Tony and I go to bed in our own sleeping bags, and I kind of tried to say, hey, can we can sleep next to each other, to know that at least one side of you is not going to be Bertha. At one point, someone started talking in their sleep, like, why don't you? They said something like that.
Those weird snatches of a past conversation.
Yeah. So I must have slept like 4 hours. You could hear people getting up to go peeing, and I think I got up to go pee because I've been drinking. And you could feel the wooden floorboards of this shelter move and bend as people got up. And you ever meet someone who walks with their heels? Like they stomp. They don't stomp walk, they heel walk.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I can imagine a person like that.
You ever get one of those iced tea cartons and fold them in and stomp on them, and they sound like a M80 going off?
Yeah, that.
Like, who walk like that, like, oh, gotta get up, stomp, 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 stomp. And then that was it. So that was the all singing, all farting thing. We get up the next day, and they're complaining about their hips. Like, I don't want to be that. When I get to that age, God willing, I don't want to be that old person who just talks to younger folks and insists that they be grateful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
what am I supposed to do? Like, look, I have no frame of reference. How can I be grateful for something I'm not experiencing?
Yeah.
Is it regret on their part?
Well, part of it is that they can't know what the young person is going through. And also the addition of this idea that when you're old, you somehow acquire the authority to talk down to people about what it is they're not appreciating.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
That'd be a really salty thing to throw back to an old person who's given me the "you should be grateful" talk.
Yeah. And
what was that line? How good was it?
Oh, I don't even remember it now.
Does age give you
the authority to tell people what they should be appreciating? And it's not really the same thing, because you're telling me, like, the hypothetical older person is telling me without me having the frame of reference to really understand what it is they're telling me.
Right.
Basically, all they're doing is saying, hey, don't look forward to getting old. Even though there are elements of being old that, I hear pretty all right. You get to... I'm sure I could think of some things that are great about being old if given time, but the fact that you made it that
car
far...
insurance, but then your healthcare insurance is higher.
I mean, God willing, you don't have to work anymore, although some people really enjoy it and prefer to work.
Right.
In that Vince McMahon kind of way. But yeah, it just is what it is. It's the generation gap, and it's not going to be sutured back together.
Right.
But yeah. So it was the fart shack because it was just filled with baby boomers who were like farting all night?
Yeah, like deep baby boomers. I'm talking 60, 70 years old.
Which
was interesting because they were hiking one of the harder sections, because the descent into Port Clinton is like a stone staircase.
Yeah.
Steep. Like a Roman architecture steep. Abbreviated review says, people don't judge you for the way you dress. You can wear anything and people are like, oh, he's old. Awesome.
Yeah.
As long as I won't be the old kilt wearing guy. Yeah.
Like that just shows up in random places and it's always, oh, well, that's just how he is.
Yeah. Or RB Banks says it's obnoxious to make out like one person's brand or suffering is any worse than the other person's brand of suffering, and that what makes it annoying and condescending.
Yeah, I got into an argument with my friend Jenny over the weekend about this because she has this obnoxious tendency to sort of minimize other people's hardship because she's going through something that, I mean, from an objective standpoint is probably worse. But you know, it's a weird form of gatekeeping that because I didn't go through whatever it was that she went through, I can't possibly understand what it's like to feel heartbroken, or I can't understand what it's like to really lose someone you care about. And I'm like, this is why we never dated. I literally told her this, of just, we never dated because everything is a race to the bottom with you. Like, it's, everything has to be, well, you know, you gotta one-up me even in the things that are terrible to one-up a person about. It's like March Sadness with her.
Nice. It's a good line. Thank you, Jeremy Rames, for $2. Even though you're trying to rub one out, good on you, man. There was like a Man Show skit that they never did called well, let me get to Burgundy Burnouts here quick. Remember that Man Show bit. The reason my exhaust is loud is because I want to make sure everyone on the other side of the generation gap can hear. Loud exhausts have their place. I don't think their place is in town, which is hard because that's where the people are.
Yeah.
And that's where you can be witnessed.
And that's the point of the loud exhaust.
Yeah.
Of, you know, hey, look at me.
Look at me.
It's me.
Can you even stand? What is it? How are you even going to stand? Can you even front with? How can you deal with this much exceptionalism? Or,
yeah.
Behold my raging significance. I am.
Yeah, a loud exhaust is hydraulics for white people. Like, it's just,
yeah.
It's just kind of like, hey, look at this thing, and I'm going around.
Colt45 said, "What did I miss? Had to drop the stream for the last 10 minutes. Take a phone conversation. You missed us like talking about what we're gonna be when we get old."
Yeah, and also the Fart Shack story of being stuck on the AT in a shack with a bunch of baby boomers who spent the night farting, as is their wont. Yeah, but it's just one of those things, you know. The biology of your body sort of changes in that, like, what's stewing down there is kind of different, and you're more prone to gastrointestinal distress, I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I notice it now in my mid and late 30s and I think it's typical among males that we become partially lactose intolerant, if not all the way. And I noticed that my farts got a lot nicer and less frequent when I stopped drinking milk and eating cheese with my dinner. And then last night, I had a very nice pasta dinner with cheese and everything, and it was wonderful. And then my farts were realer than Schindler's List.
Damn. And it's and they get that way too, you know?
It wasn't even fun for me. Crack the window at night preemptively.
Yeah, because everybody's supposed to like their own brand, but there comes a point in time. Maybe that is what getting old is, of that point where you no longer enjoy your own brand.
I know. Speaking of brand, I have to get a white t-shirt. I have a big black magic. Oh, it's over there. A big black Sharpie that I have to write brand on because Nick and I have a little bit of filming to do after this, or rather the still pictures.
Oh, yeah, stills.
Yeah. You're going to like this bit, but I think, I don't know where we have to do it because I didn't do any homework to try to find a place to film. Probably going to do it. Well, we won't say it on stream where we're going to film it. Dennis Cover says, "That's why I never share my problems with others. I'm not dying from a terminal illness or starving, so how bad can my problems be?" Yeah, exactly. My daily upload says, "I started driving a manual transmission again, and I'm trying not to use the exhaust to find my shift points. If anything, it drowns out the engine noise. I'll stall or over-rev trying to watch a view." Oh, speaking of exhaust. Zach Hellman says, "If you're in Ames and want a plane ride, Piper Cessna, or just to hang out." Are we talking about Ames, Iowa? Because my buddy Tom is a professor there at Iowa State. And we do plan to come out there. He offered me to stay at his house. I mean, they have a big farmhouse, but I think we'll get a hotel anyway, just because, you know, he had a third kid. And it'd be kind of like adding 2 people to the mix would be too much for him. But yeah, if you're talking about Ames, Iowa, I want a plane ride, Piper Cessna. Come out there in the summer. I wouldn't be able to ride it. I'd throw up again. 09 Matrix. It's funny, Zach, that you mentioned the Matrix because I'm just going to highlight O. Schmidt's question. Thank you for the $5, both of you. But the Matrix question, that's another. It's still down to those 3 cars to replace Goldie if and when I have to, because the one I have is kind of rusty. I'm still going to get my time out of those tires that I have a 60,000 mile warranty on. No, wait. The warranty wasn't for those. The 60,000 mile warranty was the ones. Oh, wait. Yeah, right. The warranty of those tires is the one on my Subaru. It's going to be Matrix or the Mazda 6 GT wagon, because both of them you can get. I'm not going to get the Matrix XRS with the crazy high compression because I don't want to deal with high test octane. O. Schmidt says, I'm 23 and I'm picking up a 1984 Goldwing. Hey! Am I aging too quickly? Also, make America regular again. An 84 Goldwing. I wonder if those are still the 1100s. Am I aging too quickly? No, you know a bargain when you find them. Like an 80s Goldwing maintained by a, you know, it's the winga-dinga of bikes, man. If you find something that has nothing wrong with it, you got a fast, comfortable tour for probably like, I'm just going to guess what you paid for it. 3, hopefully. I wouldn't pay more for 3. More than $3,000 for an 84 Goldwing. I'm sure there's some out there where that maybe running a little rough that just need their carburetors cleaned for like $1,000. Maybe if you're shopping around, maybe you can get one for a cool G. They're great. You'll never get pulled over ever, 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 ever. They're like old Cadillacs. No one will suspect a damn thing. 84 Goldwings. I'm a fan of Goldwings. I like them a lot. Would I be Justin Jolly says, would I be a Supra person? I like them, but I don't think I'd ever own one. $3,000 for an 80s Goldwing? Shit, I can find them for 1,500s on Craigslist. Yeah. 84 Goldwings. Joseph says, got it for $1,000. I like that.
It's the only way to be.
Right. Oh,
I'm just seeing if there's anything on the subreddit.
Probably wrap this up soon. Been doing it
Yes.
for an hour. I'm talking off mic.
This guy is $5. Still looking for Chicago cars. I'm in the area. Just now sent an email. We haven't even started yet.
right. We haven't started looking.
Yeah.
Pappy, Pap Key says, still looking for Chicago cars. I'm in the area. But just now sent an email. Have a Honda Element, meh. Turned storm chasing vehicle. So it has a whole bunch of antennas on it. So meh. How do you make money chasing like tornadoes and stuff, or is it like lawnmower racing where it's just bragging rights? Twister made me think like you could make money. I mean, people give you grants. It's like when people are chasing storms. It's the myth of if we see what's inside of a tornado, then you know we're gonna go to Mars. Like that'll be the key to space travel or something like that. It's this grand mystery that lies in the side of that funnel.
There was a question down there that said, I'm 25 getting...
Thank you for the $5, by the way.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. I'm 25 getting fit. This is Franco Guidi. He's saying, I'm 25 getting fit and I want to get into hiking. Any advice? Or how do I start, basically?
Stair machine. Hike that stair machine. Preferably the one that's actual stairs. Real stairs. Simulated stairs. You want to get on the stair machine where it's like a reverse escalator, where there is physical stairs that you keep stepping up on. They're usually the huge ones. You'll know them when they see them. It looks like a mini escalator that you fight the whole time. If you get on one of those things where you pump your feet up and down, it helps, but it's not the same as lifting and aiming. That's what's going to do it. And if you want to get into hiking, keep playing with these knives. This is half the thing about knives, isn't it? It's... Oh, the flip.
Yep. Ooh. Like a street tough.
I'm in school I got sent to in-school suspension for having this. Or they sent me home. Now Daddy'll notice me. His punches mean he loves me. Oh, that was dark. Hey, I was a teacher, though. I know about these emotional support kids. Anywho, what was I talking about? Stair climbers.
Stair climber, yeah.
Yeah. You want to get on that stair machine, and you want to stay on that for an hour. And it's going to suck ass, and it's going to be boring. That's kind of what hiking is. And then realize that you're going to be doing that for 8 hours. Now, the good thing about hiking is that you can do it altered. You know, have a drink, fill your water bottle with stuff, take an edible, you know, or at the very least, listen to a podcast. One guy there says, are more bike reviews coming out? Yes, we still have to review my DR650 one of these days. We'll combine it with another review with another car that would make a good camera car. Do you hike while listening to music? I do, but I try not to make a habit of it because hiking in PA, you kind of have to have your ears on a little bit because sometimes they're your first line of defense if the stone you're stepping on starts moving a little bit. Oh, Aaron Moose, thank you for the $10. Thanks on the Arizona question. Sent to you? He sent me a series of emails about my 2000 Chevy Astro work van. You're a locksmith. Excellent. My 2002 Chevy Impreza 2.5 Turbo S. Okay. Is that like an RS? Because we didn't get the... Anyway. And 2009 Mazda 5. I don't think we did a 5. Would not mind being your Arizona fixer. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the $10 and the email.
Thank you for the $10 and the email. Tyler Twinson says, thank you for the $10, Tyler. We should, we'll have to wait for, actually, this stuff won't pick up until the next payment thing. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Speaking of Iowa State, here's a round of 2 on me for the speech help. Oh, thank you so much, Tyler.
Yeah.
For the speech. Oh, when I helped you on that speech. Yeah, you sent me an email. You had this speech you were working on. I was kind of brutal on it a little bit. I'm sorry. I got to stop clicking this thing because people listening to this on iTunes are going to hear this click sound in the background. That's me playing with that dumb Farmer's Market Ninja Tactical Force knife. The Subaru TS was the naturally aspirated 2.5 motor. I believe just a tuned suspension and some other things. Well, it makes sense, Tyler. Yeah. Cake Reviews says, what's unfathomable in your 20s but understandable when... Cake Review says, what's unfathomable in your 20s but understandable when you're in your 20s?
Maybe they just mean 30s.
Yeah.
Unfathomable in your 20s but understandable when you're in your 30s. That's a good question because I don't really know that anything was unfathomable to me other than, sort of getting laid with any kind of consistency.
It's the girls' question.
Yeah.
Why don't they... Look, they want it as much as you, but just in a different language.
Yeah.
I know it sounds mean, but you might want to... If the problem is girls, you might want to listen to Patrice O'Neill. I mean, he's kind of mean.
But he's
exaggerating. He's exaggerating, but he kind of makes it truth that never lie. Like, if you want to say, look, you're cool... You want to sleep together. Like, as straight up as that is,
Yeah.
He says it sometimes works. It's another version of the Boomhauer method. It's like, that's your method? You ask every girl? Like, you got shot down 40 times. Yeah, but I scored once. And he's yeah. Don't be afraid of getting shot down. Like, I would have saved myself so much time in my 20s.
Yeah.
Not to hang on with both hands to a maybe.
Yeah.
A maybe is catch and release. You get a maybe, you throw it back. A maybe is no. Maybe means no.
Maybe means no, but I don't want to have that conversation right now.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't want to deal with the awkwardness.
Yeah.
And it's hard to really think about, it's hard to want to waste your time with people who don't want to spend their time with you. So,
A lot of college courses, a lot of writing courses were unfathomable in my 20s. Until I realized that you're going to get a C for just showing up, so don't worry. You'll get a B as long as you show effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it they don't call it give it the old college try for no reason.
It's cynical, but look, you paid, you're getting a B. You paid, you showed up, you were nice. You asked some questions. You're there just to get experience.
Yeah.
So don't worry about your college grades. Only your parents care about that. You're there to build skills, not get good grades. And I learned a lot from classes I didn't know a lot in. So that's what you're there for.
Yeah.
Banny Loop says, what college did you go to? I went to Kutztown University for undergrad and grad.
I went to Penn State for undergrad, the Berks campus, and then the main campus. Partied my ass off. Still got by. Went to KU for grad. That's where I met this guy, and did really well there because I wasn't being bogged down with courses that had no relevance to me.
I hate that.
Yeah, those gen eds.
Yeah, that's the reform that the Pennsylvania state system of higher education needs.
Yeah,
but they're not going to do it because that's how they get their money.
Yeah. So what are you really going to do?
Go to college to become an indoctrinated eye. I don't know if that comment was meant to be as profound as it is, because we could fill an entire podcast on the concept of I and the individual capital I.
Yeah.
That's some Dr. Schwartz stuff.
Yeah, it's the body, or not the body, the mind sort of creating identity, for lack of a better term. But also identity being this fluid thing. Yeah.
And we can talk about Alan Watts stuff, that the concept Brian or the concept Nick can't do anything.
Yeah.
Like you as a intellectual assembly of an ideas are powerless. So the good news is you don't exist. I don't exist. So relax. Jeffrey Rarity, thank you for the $5 Canadian Canucky Stan money. Things you were worried about as a younger person may seem trivial to you looking back, but there's no way that's the thing. No way you could tell them so. I hate kids. because partially I understand their fits in the grocery store. You can't have Pop-Tarts and then their world crumbles.
Yeah.
Like, now, like, I wish I could understand. I wish someone would have told me when I was in middle school that things seem difficult because your brain won't fully form for another 10 years. But the thing is, the tragedy of being young, Jeff, sorry I cheated there, but the tragedy of being young, Jeff, is that you spend most of elementary, you spend, gosh darn it, you spend the first 22 to 23 years of your life being scolded by the previous generation just for existing. That's what sucks. You know, you're sinful just for being alive. Oh, you young kids. Now, when someone lays into you with the whole, you don't know how good you have it. What they're really saying is, I feel guilty because I didn't appreciate it. And they're projecting their own regret on you.
Yeah.
So, I know why you're saying that is a good rebuttal. What did you waste when you were my age? Who didn't you kiss? What things did you, what chances did you brush away? What could have you been? Oh, that's a good one. If someone lays into you, like, you don't know how good you have it. What could have you been when I was your age? What would have you done?
Yeah.
And then they may tell you, or they just get more salty, which kind of proves your point either way.
Yeah. It's very strange. I mean, it's just, it's because they're not the ones who are having to live that life right now, you know, when they're projecting onto you of saying, well, you know, don't linger on the shots he didn't take and just go for it. But also they don't have to sort of be kept awake at night thinking about how terribly that just went.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a very things.
BBI Productions, thank you for the 5 Canucky Stand dollars. When is RCR invades Canada? Come to Ottawa. We'll hook you up, cool cars, and maybe, hopefully, some track access. I'm interested in that track access. Do you work at a track? Do you have a membership? Is it a private track like Harris Hill? Is it a public track? What I learned with that Harris Hill, because it's a private track, the owner was there. The owner's name's Bo. I don't know what his real name is. He insists on everybody calling him Bo. You don't know he is, like, this is a line I wanted to save BBI Productions for if we were on the Smoking Tire, but I'll do it here. So when we get on the Smoking Tire again, you know, it'll be something to talk about.
Yeah.
His track experience, because then Matt and I would have a similar thing. Is that important?
No.
Okay. You know, when we go out on the road, hence flying, we like to throw a little bit of money around, which means we're throwing your money around, but thank you for giving it to us. Because we're on the road, we're having a good time, and we're having a good time making videos. And but there's that, and then there's, like, I think I'm balling a little bit by having, you know, maybe a glass of single malt whiskey or something. But there's that, you know, balling, and then there's owning a racetrack, which is balling when you have your own track. BBI Production says private track, Calabogie Motorsports Park. I know some guys who are instructors. So BBI, are you a member there? That's my next question. But yeah, owning a private track, it's like, whatever you want to do, go ahead.
Have at it.
So we're out there just mobbing that old Buick. It was great. More stuff. Garrett Green, you've obviously never watched any Eric Green. Oh, he's talking to someone else.
Talking to someone else. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, when is Canada? I don't know. Let's get done with Chicago, and then we'll have an answer for you.
Yeah.
Hi from old Denmark. Hello, old Denmark. Well, this is going longer.
Yeah.
I say Canucky Stan all the time, and I'm from Atlantic Canada. Also, Canucky Stan land. Canada has enough weird stuff to be a theme park. Don't promise things you might think that may not happen. Come to the Pacific Northwest. We were there. What we can say for certain is that Chicago will happen this summer. Canada, still a question mark, but repairing the Falcon comes first.
Yeah.
Stopping in Detroit on your way to or from back from Canada, we're not going that way. We either go, we're in Pennsylvania, so we head up 83, which either you cross at Thousand Lakes or something like that, or you cross at Niagara Falls with everybody else. RDM 415, thanks for the $5. Treat yourself to some Japanese whiskey next time. Hibaki is so choice. Is that like for relaxing times? Call it Suntory times?
I have to take a spectacular leak.
Okay. Nick is peeing. Tim Strickler keeps some Japanese whiskey on hand. It is the jam. Thank you. Tom Stewart says, come to Newfoundland. Adam Heft says, where can I get information about when you will come to Toronto? My Twitter, just at Regular Cars. I'll have information there of the hows and the whys and the what fors when that happens. Looks like it clouded back up again. Oh yeah, Nick and I have to film that thing. We have to film this little interlude. I want to get back to doing more old school RCR cutaways and random non sequiturs, and that's what we got to film when we immediately once we wrap this up here. Detroit has a week-long event full of Wingadinga cars in August. I think Chicagoland may be in July because there's going to be a week break also in July. That's what's happening this week. That's why there was no video this week, or rather, the Monday morning video was Nick's video at Comic-Con. Last week was our week off. This week is me making the video for next week. So, we lag a week behind. Not Today Buddy says, hey, Regular Cars, if you come to Straya, come at the beginning of January and 10 Summer Nats. What's up with Australia's visa thing? Australia would be different than New Zealand. New Zealand, we just walked in with our American passports. But with Australia, you can't do that. You have to go online and apply. As Americans, it's different. When will RCR Iraq be? God, I wish. But since my FRS... Oh, there's some people talking to each other. Well, this almost clocked in at an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I hope this has been satisfactory for you guys.
Yeah. Hope you've enjoyed it.
We answered a lot of questions. Thanks so much for the super chat. I felt weird about doing it at first, but if it adds to our travel budget, it adds to our travel budget, so we can come out here and see you a lot more time. And also, we will be attending New Jersey's Cars and Coffee this summer. There's plenty of events to go to. All depends really on weather. What else was I going to say? Oh, yes, and thank you to everybody on Patreon. You guys who donate on Patreon really help our travel budget and allow Regular Car Reviews to exist as a much larger channel than we really are, and keep us coming and out there on the road. Because, gosh, I love road trips. I love the planning of it.
Yeah.
And I like flying as
Creating the itinerary.
Yeah. It's a very German thing. Just making those plans and doing that and coming up with the break days and where we're going to be and talking to people on the phone. I like that degree of control. I think that's a lot of what makes up my psyche, is being able to have or be in control, because it's the opposite of what I felt growing up. I was well aware how little in control I was of everything, which really my peak of bondage, meaning to be in bondage to your parents and everything else, was church. You are stuck here. You cannot move from this pew. You cannot squirm. You must look forward. It was, I was a hyper kid, imagination running everywhere. And I also liked exploring. Like, I wanted to explore the church. I wanted to crawl underneath all the pews. I wanted to walk in every room and stuff. So getting able to explore new places is what I really, really like. And nothing is more intriguing than you can't go there. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I said all I can say.
Okay.
It's a weird, because I didn't really do anything this weekend, so it's what do I really have to talk about other than
meeting Ric Flair? Did we talk about?
We talked about that last week.
Podcast?
Yeah,
okay.
Or last podcast. Yeah, and so the video just came out today, and I didn't even look at the comments because I just know for a fact that a lot of them are going to be about putting my car through the car wash, and it's going to be a lot of.
supposed to put your car through the automatic car wash. You know how much dirt's in those things?
What that's going to
It's
do
your
to your
daily.
paint? Like I just.
Your car wasn't even
It wasn't even 5,000. It wasn't even 4,500. It was 44. And so it's like I love her. I love my car, but that was a day where I had a lot of things to do, and there was like bird shit all over it.
Yeah.
And so I'm just gonna go through the friggin' thing because I need to get back home to edit and do things. And sure, I could whip out or go to the park it and do the whole spray thing, or go home and get a bucket out, and it's just I don't know.
Thank you, Nuke's Cola, for the heart shape.
Nuka Colada. That's a cool name.
I think it's a reference to
Fallout. Yeah.
Does your nephew like the automatic car wash?
Yeah. I mean, I've only taken him once. Like, he wasn't actually with me on the day of.
Okay.
I just spliced in the car wash video for Weird.
One guy, Colin, says, "What about the Man Show?" Thank you for reminding me, Colin. There was this one Man Show bit that Corolla talked about that they never did. It was called Jack That Dork, where you could never do it, but it's so funny. Okay. And the thing is, how many strokes will it take to come? How few do you think you can do? Like, I can jack that dork in 500 strokes, and then the person would say, I can do it 450. 410. And the thing is, at any time the other person can say, jack that dork, can call you on it. Like, if you say, I can jack that dork in 10,000 strokes, and the other person says, jack that dork, and you do it under that, you'd win the prize.
Yeah.
So you keep going lower and lower, and they would have like a potential, either like, not a potentiometer, an accelerometer on your hand that could measure a stroke is up is it up or is it up and down?
Well, the completion of an up and down or down and up motion.
Right, push-up rules.
Yeah,
it's up basically. And down. So yeah, man show skit, but it would be impossible to film as no one. It would go straight to it. It's essentially you're filming porn.
Yeah, basically.
But the thing is, like, a half screen, you would put like a half screen up to here, and then the accelerometer you could see, and then they'd play the saber dance, and then it'd be like a counter. You're like, you'd have to look forward, and then the beginning rounds of the game would you would have nothing. But in the escalating rounds of the game, you'd have to spin a wheel, and it would fall on, Mother Teresa. Like, stuff would be displayed, or Golden Girls,
a tub girl or something. No, but it's, I don't know,
like, and of course it would be like the narrow thing under one plong would be, like, picture of your mother on her bridal shower, yeah. And that's got to be up, and like your eyes, you can't look away.
Yeah, it's strange because if it were a challenge of just myself, it'd be under 400 probably. I would think for me. But if someone else is doing it, probably not. Like, it'd probably be longer just because it's weird and foreign to me. Like, all sex stuff is super weird to me just because I'm not like typical. Like, I don't know. It's just, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's
like a sociopath would win that because they would be able to put themselves out, or like a politician or something like that. They say if you have to run for office, like the sociopaths have an easier time because you're able to do that doublethink thing. You can say things you don't mean, but in that moment you believe it.
Yeah.
Anyway, politics, blah, blah, blah.
Politicians.
I think that's a show.
Yeah, I think that's a show.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone who donated in the super chat.
Thank you.
Thank you for everyone who didn't donate in the super chat. Just
We still
for being
read your
here.
comments anyway.
Yeah, you guys are great. Thank you to Patreon people and people who watch the videos and subscribe to the channel and share everything. And thank you for just enjoying our silly show.
Yeah.
But anyway, I am Nick.
I'm Brian.
And we will talk to you next time.
See ya. Bye.
How do I